Welcome to Reaching Your Peak. I'm William Louey, and in this series, I'm going to interview all sorts of people from all walks of life who have worked hard and reached to the peak. I live on the peak, and here's Albert, who has reached the peak. Albert, what is your advice for someone trying to get ahead in life?
I think even though I've been working for 20 plus years, I probably only qualify to give advice to younger people who are either in school or just finishing university. I think for the younger kids, I will advise them to study hard. Even though the world is changing fast, I think the basics, such as mathematics, science, and basic languages are still the same. It's the same requirement versus 20, 30 years ago. You need to be good at those. Whereas for the university students, I will advise them to be more adaptive. AI is changing the world. Many jobs will be changing.
Yeah.
And the pace of change is picking up. So you need to learn the new technology. You have to learn new skills to match the requirement in work. You need to be more prepared for everything.
You mentioned AI. In order to stand out, I think it's like, we are talking face to face, right? A lot of the youngsters nowadays, they look at their machines a lot and they don't really communicate with real people. I think the skill for the future is to have proper communication. If you can master this skill, such as personality, how you can attract attention, I think I think that is something that AI cannot do. I have a KMB scholarship, and every year I make the same speech. And I'm so happy that none of the students listening to me are not looking at their phones and not concentrating. Because I think it's so important now that because all these children are doing, everything is replaced by AI, talking to AI, everything. But it's never the same talking to real people. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree. I have teenage boys. And for, I think, educators around the world, it's a big problem. They live in a different world. We didn't touch a phone or mobile phone until university time, and that wasn't a smartphone. Nowadays, all the kids, probably from the age of 10, all have a smartphone each. So you cannot get rid of that. That's the new world they live in. But I think most people agree spending too much time on there will reduce your ability to communicate with other people, learn things. And the way algorithms is designed this way, that they will lead you in a certain direction. And if you're really young, a teenager, you may not have the ability to judge whether those are the truth or those could be misinformation. So I agree with what many schools do is to keep that to a minimum. Yeah, they will have it, but try to keep the in-face learning, whether it's from a teacher or talking to your fellow students or parents, keep that as much as possible.
What are the key milestones in your own journey?
Yeah, I don't want to pat myself too much on the back, but while I was younger, similar to the age my kids were, I got into a special class in Beijing, number 8 middle school.
Can you explain a bit about special classes?
A prodigy class.
Prodigy. Okay.
So they pick students from when they are finishing primary 4 or primary 5, so roughly at the age of 10 to 11. And you will skip 2 years of primary school, go into secondary school, and you compress the remaining courses into 4 years. So you essentially jump somewhere between 3 to 4 years in your education. And so when I finished in this school at the age of 14, I was ready to go to university.
Wow. Is that a good thing though, Albert? I mean, it worked very well for you.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of examples in Hong Kong, and these children, they're special and they're well publicized. But then it turns out that when they enter university too young, they can't really mingle with the people older than them. Is that a good thing? I mean, it turns out well for you.
I think there are pros and cons in everything. I was one of the earlier batches. So back then it was considered as an experiment. While the experiment or the program is still ongoing 30 years later, and it's getting still quite popular. Every year they take probably 30 kids. Back then they used to take 30 kids every 2 years. So the program is still very much in demand. But like you said, there will be certain social issues and academic ones.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids, if you give them 4 more years, chances are they will do even better when they go to university entrance exams.
Right.
Whereas you can press maybe a little too much when you squeeze out 4 years. And they missed out on certain things like sports, music, because the academic demand is so high.
Right. And you turned out to be very successful, and you went to Oxford at the age of 16. Obviously, very impressive. Did you encounter any problems regarding making friends? And, I'm sure the professors like you very much, but how about making friends, when you're like 2 years or 3 years younger than most people?
I would say I'm fairly outgoing, so it wasn't too much of a problem for me in university. I was able to make friends, we played sports, we went to the same lectures, and I see them as my peer. But I can completely see it may not be the case for everyone.
Yeah.
And I did study 2 more years in Millfield before I went to Oxford. So that helped me. Rather than 14, I entered university at 16, so that helped a little bit. Where some of my old classmates did go to university at 14, and I think that's an even bigger challenge.
Yeah. When you were in Millfield, you were doing A-levels when you were 14. Did you encounter problems there?
I think the problem, some of it was social, but more to do with languages. I grew up in Beijing. We have very good education, including English, but it's not at the same standard as a native speaking environment. So when we got there, catching up with class, listening to the teachers, that took us a while. So I think those were the bigger challenges for me in Millfield days, especially in the first 6 months to a year. And then afterwards, I really enjoyed my time there.
I went to Millfield myself, and Millfield is really famous for sports. As you know, like every Olympics, there are at least 8 gold medals from Millfield representing the UK. And I had a wonderful time there. I did every single sport, like everything that I could not do in Hong Kong, I did it in Millfield. And so what is your experience? What sports did you do in
school? I loved the sports in Millfield. The facility was amazing. The athletes were really good. I'm not at that level. In Beijing, I played table tennis and played football, but in the UK, I played football on real grounds for the first time. So that was quite an amazing experience.